Hey y'all, welcome to another reading. We are going to do something a little bit different today and focus on wealth, material goods, pentacles, success, career, all of that. But we're going to fly through the zodiac and we're going to start with Capricorn as we usually do. We start with the sign that we are in, the sun sign that we are in. And I want to keep this in the front of your mind that if you're not a Capricorn, this might still be applicable to you. Just take what resonates. It's not a bad idea to watch all of them and see what happens and if something really speaks to you, right? We're also going to start with the Oracle deck, which we're going to pull 3 cards from and then clarify with the Crow deck of tarot. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll explain more on the way, I'm sure. Okay, so the bottom card is risk. That's appropriate for what we're doing. As usual, these days, I want to put that up here. Survival. Oh, Capricorn. Okay. Upheaval. All right. And displacement. All right. Yeah. Okay, Cappies. All right. So far, not roses and rainbows, right? Well, the reason that we're using this Oracle deck and then the clarifiers of the Crow Tarot is because we've done it once before and it was absolute magic. And so I want to see if we can do that for this run through all of the zodiac signs with wealth. Okay, first and foremost, we all know, this is interesting, don't you think, how this shape continues? This is yeah, of that car. Isn't that interesting? You always have to pay attention when you're doing tarot. You have to pay attention to how the cards not only communicate through what's on the face of the card, but you have to pay attention to the visual aspects of each card and how they relate to each other and communicate to each other as well. You'll see that this line also comes through here. So these cards match up a lot. Okay, so remember how, if you've been watching at all, this channel or pretty much anybody's channel, we talk about the potential for basically all of this, for this displacement, this upheaval, the survival, the tower moments, the change, the chaos. The reason that mutable signs are so much more adept and have so many more tools in their toolbox to deal with these things is because of their mercurial way and because of the way that they're able to change and basically remain calm in situations like that, because it's sort of something that they're very familiar with. It's always happening for us Geminis. So this is not unusual for 2025, period, right? And for Capricorns, you know, we've got definitely that popping up. Okay, I'm trying to candy coat this a little bit. Listen, just like all the other signs, and every reading that I've done in the last 2 months, well, really month, okay, sorry. The most important lesson that we're gonna learn for 2025 is how community, partnerships, mentorships, other people, how important they are to our success. Now, Capricorn, I think, hold on. I don't want to say anything before I do a clarifier. Let's pull on survival. Why is survival here? Why is survival here? It's interesting because as I was thinking about pulling this, reading, I was like, oh man, this is going to be easy. Capricorns are the ambitious ones. Capricorns are cutthroat. They're going to take advantage of this energy. The universe is disagreeing with that. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is the World under survival. Got the Two of Wands, Page of Cups, and the Chariot. Oh man. Do you know that song? Who was it? Who sang that song? I don't remember, but it's I Want to Be the One to Save You. I don't know. It was played in bars when I was a bar goer. I'm just going to say so for some of you, there's going to be an offer of love that I'm not going to say is transactional, but the offer of love is accompanied by an offer of financial assistance. Okay. And I think that some of you are going to take it. Even if you don't love this person back. No, or at least not yet. That's what you're going to tell yourself. At least not yet. Like, I could grow to love this person. I could. Okay, cool. This is, if it is what you got to do, you got to do. If you've got stuff you need to take care of, money comes in and out of our lives for everybody. And if this is one of the ways that money comes into your life and it's a matter of survival right now, that's what you got to do. So I think Capricorn, for some of you, if you are in the situation where you're in survival mode and you're not sure what's going to happen, I really think you're going to get this offer of love that comes with a, hey, I love you. Why don't you move in? Why don't we move in together? Why don't I help you out with that? How about I assume that loan for you? Like, this could happen in many, many, many different ways, but it's an offer of love that comes attached with financial assistance. There's subsidies with this unconditionality. There's subsidies. Okay, so if that helps, don't martyr yourself on on this hyper independence, I suppose. A lot of us do that, where we just we can do it ourselves. We can't trust anybody else. So we don't accept help from anybody else, and that can hurt us in the long run. So, if somebody wants to help you, they love you, let them, as long as you feel comfortable in it. And that is one caveat that I will throw out there, especially for women who are in this situation. If there are strings attached to that, if the love is not unconditional, and if there are strings attached to the financial contributions to the subsidies, make sure it's worth it, because you don't want to be doing things that you don't want to do because someone had expectations that there was going to be a transactional nature to their funding. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to end up in a situation like that. Okay. Upheaval. Why is upheaval here? All I see is the eggs left in the nest. So you've got all these nests flying about, but there are eggs left in that one nest. You still got nest eggs, is what I'm saying. You still got a little nest egg, don't you? Okay. Hang on to it, I guess, in the upheaval. I think probably if everybody's really got to batten down the hatches these days. You should have a good savings account and good nest eggs right now. This is also, keep in mind, please, this is not financial advice. I am not FDIC insured, and all opinions are my own, and this is not considered any type of financial health or romantic advice. it's a tarot reading, people. Okay, maybe we learned something from it. Maybe we don't. I just try to talk to the universe on your behalf and see what happens. But sometimes she's a little feisty, like with this card. It wants to be very specific. There's very specific. Oh boy. Also keep in mind that all readings are influenced by the reader and the time in which they're pulled. So there's not one reading that comes out of a vacuum that is just completely unbiased, okay? Well, it's stuck now, so this must be it. All right, Queen of Cups, ton of love, ton of love. Do you have, the World is back, but it's now in the clarifiers. The Five of, oh my goodness. I don't, okay. Yeah, so this is more of a literal translation. For those of you Capricorns who have children, there could be something going on a little bit with them in this. And I like children, or those like who you mother or parent, or those sort of in your sphere. It could be nieces, nephews. It could be a partner if there's a little bit of infantilization. There could be pets. This could be pets too, okay? But there's I think that there's something. I don't know why the universe would tell me this if there's no. Usually, like we have a. Sorry, I'm just really surprised by this, because usually we have a pretty good working relationship, me and the universe, where we, knock on wood, where we she knows that I'm very action oriented, right? And she knows that I want to provide solutions to y'all. And so the information that I get contains hints and bits of information for me to relate into advice and at least solace, at least information, at least maybe words that will help or will spur self-compassion. This is just like there. It's just there. I'm not in. Okay. So I'm going to pull a little bit more on it. And we're also going to look at the bottom card again. The bottom card is the Four of Wands. I don't even think we looked at the bottom card before, the Four of Wands. And then we're going to look at the drivers of the Hanged Man, the Moon, the Seven of Wands. All of this is fueling the other clarifiers. And that wasn't even the bottom. The bottom was the Queen of Cups. I just picked it up weird. The Queen of Cups, Justice, and Four of... Okay. Okay, it's just so specific that it's a continuation of this story. So if this is so specific, I'm not even sure how many of you this really applies to. But if this resonated with you, if you have this relationship with someone who's offering you financial assistance and you're not sure you really love them, but you're going to take it, and you're either going to move in with them or you're going to join forces or partner or marry them or something like that. The little ones, whether they be children, pets, family, nieces, nephews, the little ones don't like it at all, do they? They just don't like this person or the situation or the contract. They don't like it at all. I think they're going to kind of... Now listen, so this is the advice from the universe, is let them feel that. Don't get upset about them or to them. Don't get upset with them for having these feelings, for being in the Three of Swords. Don't get upset with them for that. It's every right they have to be upset like that. And maybe they're on to something. Okay, so the little bambinos, whether they be people, animals, even your inner child, okay? Listen to me. Even your inner child. This could be, shit, I don't know why I didn't think about it before. This could be your fucking inner child who's been hurt badly. Okay? Consider the voices, the dissonant voices that you're hearing during this decision. Just consider them. I'm not saying, but, okay? All right. This is some strong stuff. This is some powerful stuff. If you're going through this, it must be very difficult. My sympathies are definitely with you. My compassion is with you, because that's kind of lose-lose, right? Damn. Okay. We got to make these tough choices though, right? We got to take the risk. If you've got to take a risk to be independent and to say no to this offer, then that's what you got to do. If you got to take the risk to go forward because you know best and your inner child or your kids or your parents don't know best, then that's the way you got to do it too. You're going to have to rely on your intuition just as much as a person who's a mutable sign has to rely on their intuition. Pretty much everybody does. And hopefully most of us have built a set of protocol, standards, emotional intelligence, and general intelligence that allows us to use our intuition to its top form. Because, like I say in almost every reading, our intuition doesn't come out of a vacuum either, right? Our intuition comes from lived experiences mixed with a little bit of primal instinct, mixed with a little bit of spirituality and how in tune we are to that. But it comes from lived experiences. Children have very baseline, primal intuition. Yeah, that's why sometimes they're so good at it. They can tell when there's a ghost in the room. They can tell if a person is good or bad. This is just baseline. They can smell it, right? And we get disconnected from that as we get older. But then through our learned behaviors, through what we see, through what we experience, we sort of get replugged into that. If we're lucky, if we're paying attention, okay? All right. Displacement, why is it here? This is my little lecture. Welcome, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading. Why is displacement here? What kind of car do you think that is, y'all? It looks like those wheels, right? Looks like an old Chevy, like a Nova, I think. Leave it in the comments if you've gotten this far and you have any idea what that car is. Please tell me. Okay, this is a very, very difficult clarifier. It's almost like she's like, there's no way for me to pull. You're going to have to just, okay, I'll use my intuition. So we have the Five of Swords on the bottom. Yeah, that would track with displacement. Okay. Okay, well done. Well done, universe. We have Strength. The Devil, as we do. Yep. And the Four of Swords. So when I decided I was going to do this series, right, I'm like, hey, like it's January, people have new goals, people have new financial goals. Some of them have set goals to be an entrepreneur for the first time. Some of them have set goals to get a raise, to make more money, to, get a bigger house this year or get a house at all. Like there's always this pentacle sort of relationship to new goals in the beginning of the year, at least for most of us, right? So I thought, this is going to be great. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to pull pentacle cards, and it's going to be fantastic. Have we even seen a pentacle card other than the 5 of Pentacles, leaving yourself out in the cold? Okay. The absence of Pentacles, basically. Okay, listen. Under the displacement card, or no, to clarify it, we have Strength, we have the Devil, and we have the 4 of Swords. I think you need to communicate this. So there's I think this tendency with everybody, but maybe especially Capricorns, where you don't really start talking about your situation. You don't start talking about stuff that's happening until it's almost done. You don't want to jinx it, right? I get it. I really do. And you want to stay like in beast mode until there's really something to tell about. You don't want to talk about your dreams. You don't want to talk about the situation that you're in until you're really, really deep. If it's the other side of the spectrum and you're doing not good. Right. So it's the kind of attitude where like, you see that there's an issue on the books with your business, and rather than like pointing it out right away, you just think it's going to self-correct, and you kind of have hope that it will, and you just like run the business into the absolute ground, and you could have nipped it in the bud. That's the other side of that. So, in some ways, keeping yourself in grind mode and keeping doing what you need to do until there's really something to talk about and celebrate and share with other people, that's one thing. But the other side of that coin is you could really like miss some things along the way and really drive it into the ground, right? So, or ignore some things, right? So this is about that. And the advice from the universe is that you really need, whether it's a financial planner, whether it is an accountant, whether it's a friend, start small. Maybe start with a friend, start with a stranger online even. Like they have those help websites where you can like tell somebody your problems, whether it's financial or anything else for everyone else listening. There's all kinds of ways to reach out to a stranger and tell them kind of what's going on. Like start small. And then based on their response, Reddit, right? Or one of those other sites, right? Where you can ask strangers information. And maybe then get a professional and really help you guide through this. Because I think that this flip-floppy energy, right? This 50-50, this coin toss energy all the time, where it could be white, it could be black, it could be yes, it could be no. And it's really the Schrodinger's box of experience for the next, like 18 months or so, that catapults us and sort of knows us to exhaustion. That's true for you too. So as much as things could work out, maybe they don't work out. And in order to navigate this successfully, I think you need to communicate more. And I think you also need that tribe. You need a mentor maybe. And when I say that, I know this is uncomfortable, but I would advise you, or do whatever the hell you want, but the universe says, hey, maybe you actually tell them everything. right? Rather than cherry picking what you think that is borderline acceptable, what they could maybe, like, it's like giving someone just enough information to be able to give you pretty good advice back, but you don't tell them the whole story because you might not come out great in the whole story, something like that. Or maybe you're afraid of being judged, right? So that's the advice from the universe. This is a lot going on for Capricorn sort of in general, but I'm going to pull on this again because you've intrigued me, and I want to see this happen right. This is the only thing that really, really concerns me, because you can do whatever you want to do, but I think there's a potential to get pretty upset about this aspect of it, and sometimes there's no way to avoid that, right? Like when parents get divorced, like, of course the children are not going to be okay with it, even if they say they're okay with it. Deep down, that's emotionally scarring, right? Even if it's the most amicable divorce, it still is emotionally scarring to the kids. So sometimes, though, it's much better, and you understand the risk versus reward, to split up, because that emotional scarring is going to be far less than the emotional scarring if the two parents stay together for any much longer, right? So sometimes it's unavoidable, but very, very specific reading, very interesting reading. I appreciate you hanging with me, Capricorn, and good luck out there. Bring in your community, bring in the people around you, share the dirty details, even if it's with a stranger. I think it'll help. Okay. Thanks, y'all.